All right. Well, let's do it. CJ, your prompt is travel.
How apt.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I think I did set a new record on this latest trip for probably hours I stayed awake. I didn't do the calculation, but I think we're easily in like mid to higher 20 hours straight of being awake.
Jesus. Like from the plane?
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your hosts, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ.
Daddy's home. I'm back, baby.
He's back. The boys are back together again. You can finally stop skipping the episodes. That is just Ken. We're back in it.
No. It's a 12-hour flight to get to Japan, but then on the way back, we landed in the afternoon, local time. So then you have to force yourself to stay awake for like 7 hours so that you're not going to bed at 4 p.m.
Uh-huh.
So I think that was probably the longest I've ever been awake, maybe.
And that was 20 hours?
It was, I didn't do the calculation. We woke up in Korea at 6:50 a.m.
Okay.
Spent a full day of traveling to then leave from Tokyo at 5 p.m. local time. So that's already like 12 hours. Then the flight is 10 hours.
Okay,
then
so you're at 22
Yeah.
already.
So then we landed at 1:30 Chicago time.
Holy crap.
And then had to stay awake until 8 p.m., which is when we decided was an acceptable time to go to bed. So that's another like 7 hours.
Yeah.
So like 29-ish?
Yeah, that's a
30?
lot. Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Fun.
And then what happens anytime we're gone for more than a few days is one of our cats, Ollie, likes to scream her head off all night.
Just missed you.
She did. They definitely did miss us. It was very cute, but my God, we did not get to sleep for more than a couple hours at a time without her like wailing.
Ah, you're back.
Yeah.
Ah.
These are not just like regular meows. These are like full blown. You would think she's getting like stabbed or something.
Weird.
Yeah, that's her way of being like, how dare you leave me? I'm now going to make life hell for you.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah. So just wants all of the attention and snuggles. But man. So finally, it's been a few days since we're back. And I think last night was finally like an uninterrupted night of sleep.
Okay. That's good.
We're getting there.
Finally back in the rhythm.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, look, obviously we've been talking about it already, but you've been traveling for like months, basically.
Yeah.
And I think 2 weeks, but we're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to put that on pause because we got more important things to talk about.
We got to talk about what you've been watching.
What you've been watching, right?
Way more important.
Way more important. I assume during that time you watched movies, TV shows.
Yeah. It's a long flight. You got to watch something.
What'd you watch?
Great question, Ken. I'm so glad you asked. Well, not even specifically to the flight, but something I wanted to mention was I decided to watch all of the X-Men movies.
Oh, wow. Okay. So here's the real question. In what order did you watch it? Did you watch it in release order or did you watch it in chronological order, somehow spliced together?
I just watched them in release order.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not obviously not going to go through all like 8 movies or whatever, but I just wanted to give a shout out to The Wolverine, which I actually did watch on the flight back. And so I don't remember anything about these movies, which is why I decided to rewatch them. I was like, oh, now I actually know the characters in the universe. The Wolverine, one of the later ones, holds up pretty well. I liked it. And it takes place pretty much all in Japan. So I did actually, while I was watching it, being like, oh, hey, I've been to that train station. Oh, hey, they're in Akihabara right now. That's cool. Hey, I've like been on that. Yeah. So I did actually recognize places, which was pretty fun.
That's perfect.
And then when I got back, as I was like doing chores and catching up on laundry and stuff, I decided to watch Logan. And that also holds up and is still really good.
Nice. Okay.
So if you're out there and want to get some exposure to the X-Men universe, those are probably the two I would recommend. All of the other ones were fine. Perfectly average, I think. Some of them were even kind of bad, but the Wolverine and Logan are good.
This is off topic, but because you said Logan, have you ever seen a movie called Logan Lucky?
Yeah, that's the...
Channing Tatum.
Yes, that's a good one.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Hilary Swank, Katie Holmes. Yeah.
That one's really
incredible. We watched that. Maybe this is a good segue, actually, into something I watched. I watched Logan Lucky, 2017, on Netflix a while ago, but I didn't get a chance to talk about it before. But yeah, it's incredible. It's so funny. It's like a heist movie / a weird comedy with like every star ever. And yeah, it was a surprisingly good movie. 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. What?
Yeah, it's good.
They should make a sequel to that movie. And that's about all I got to say on that. But it was really good. What else did you watch?
Okay, the movie I actually want to really talk about is a movie I had like heard about, and then shout out to friend of the show, Mary. She texted both of us to tell us about this movie.
Oh, you watched it?
Yes. It's this movie called Hundreds of Beavers. In the 19th century, a drunken Applejack salesman must go from zero to hero and become North America's greatest fur trapper by defeating hundreds of beavers. Now, here's the thing about this movie. It's entirely in black and white, and any animal in the movie, so all of those hundreds of beavers, are played by human beings in mascot costumes.
Right.
Which is so fantastic that he's like getting beat up by human-sized, just clearly obvious humans in a costume, beavers.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for this when Mary sent it over, and it looks ridiculous.
It is,
but like funny, it's like slapstick, right?
It is very much slapstick. I loved it, absolutely loved it. It is. I texted. I think I watched it like the next day after she texted us or something, and texted her back, being like, "That was one of the silliest things I have ever seen, and I absolutely loved it." I will say, if that style is not really your thing, if you don't enjoy the movie within the first 10 minutes, you are gonna hate it because it's just more of that.
It's just that the whole time.
It's just like slapstick comedy the whole time.
How long is it?
It's decently. It's at least it's almost 2 hours, an hour and 108 minutes. It's pretty lengthy.
Okay.
Which I was surprised by for a movie that like kind of has a plot. It does, but like it's a lot of just like slapstick bits.
Well, it's kind of artsy too, though, right? Like, do you think I would like it? Like, I actually like it. I think I would.
I think you would too, because it definitely is very well shot. Like there's cool effects because of that in ways that they sort of, I don't know how to say it, like make you feel like you're in certain environments without them actually being there, or the way that the camera angles are being done and the way that they take advantage of it being black and white is then they're able to apply more shadows and stuff to create like depth or imagery or scary bits of like all of a sudden you see these eyes pop out of the darkness and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think you would. It's very unique. I don't know what to compare it to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just from the little I saw in the trailer, it looked, definitely very unique. The little I saw, I mean, it reminded me obviously of like silent films, but there's sound and stuff, right? Like,
yes.
Okay.
The only people talking is there is sometimes like a song, and so you hear the lyrics of the song. But if any human the lines of dialogue, it is like a silent movie where you see their mouth move and then it cuts to the screen of text.
Okay. So it is like that.
Yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
fun.
Huh. All right. Well, I'm gonna check that out at some point.
You should.
That's definitely on my list. Yeah, it looked unique and something I need to watch. My list of things that I've watched since the last episode where I talked about watching literally something every single day in October is one movie and a show I'm in the middle of. So the movie is Alien Romulus.
Oh, I heard that was bad.
No, it is good.
Really?
It is very good. Yeah, or I mean, all the critics have listened to also thought it was good, but maybe some people didn't like it. But I really liked it. As a fan of the franchise, it plays to that a lot. So like it repeats some of the like big lines from earlier movies, like "Get away from her, you bitch," and like
you damn dirty ape.
Yeah, the recognizable lines, but also it does a really good job of. I don't know how familiar you are with the Alien franchise, CJ, but
well, I just said one of its most famous quotes. So I'm very familiar.
yeah, they refer to the aliens as apes a lot. Ridley Scott came out with 2 prequel movies a few years ago called Prometheus and a second one that I definitely know the name of. And they were going to make a third one, but it never happened. But they actually ended up incorporating that into this movie as well. So I really enjoyed that. And it's like fan service basically for fans of the franchise. So, but I think it would still be a good movie otherwise if you are up for some sci-fi horror. So yeah, I really liked it. You would know if you would like it, so check it out if you think you would. But that's it. Not for CJ.
No, I don't think so.
Hard not for CJ. Well acted though.
That's good.
What else you got?
Well, I was going to ask you, did you feel very focused and engaged while you were watching this?
I actually did. Yeah, and this was even later in the day too. But I think I can probably attribute that to Magic Mind.
The mental performance shot that you and I have been taking for months now?
Months, yeah. I think it's been over 3 months now, and it's probably a good time for us to kind of check in. And you haven't been on the podcast for a little bit. How you feeling after taking it for this long?
I'm feeling great. Part of the benefits of it is it helps me stay alert for some of these longer movies I've been watching. One of which actually today, I just so happened to watch a very long movie. It was Zack Snyder's director's cut of Rebel Moon Part 1, which is 3 hours and 24 minutes long.
But you were alert enough to make it through that whole movie. And,
that's right.
And take it in. That's great. Yeah. I mean, for me, having taken it for over 3 months, it is steadily become like a full-on necessity for me to be fully alert throughout the day. It's really helped me excel at work. I think I've talked about that before. And yeah, it's helped me in a number of other ways throughout the day to have full mental acuity throughout the day. And yeah, it's got a little bit of caffeine, got a little bit of matcha. We talked about these things in the past, but yeah, listeners of our podcast can use the code OvertalkingPod20. That's OvertalkingPod20 at checkout, or go to magicmind.com/OvertalkingPod20 and get 20% off your subscription.
It's got all the natural ingredients and money back guarantee if you don't like it, but you will.
That's huge. Guys, try it. Check it out. This is the best way to support the podcast at this time. We're not pulling your leg here. Like, we genuinely drink it every day and genuinely like it, or we wouldn't continue doing this. So, like, go try it. Like, seriously, I think you'll enjoy it. All right, back to the movies. The only other thing I have to talk about is I've been watching Friday Night Lights again. CJ, did you ever watch that?
I did not. Definitely did not see that coming.
No, I know. It's kind of out of left field. Or the 30-yard line. Anyway, you didn't laugh at that joke, CJ.
I don't get the
reference. Mixed up my sports metaphor. Well, you didn't get either of them. Okay, got it. Yeah, I don't know. I watched this back in the day. Surprisingly, I was a big FNL fan, and that's what we call ourselves. And I don't know. We were just looking for something easy to watch at night, and it hits. It's really, really good. The head coach and the wife, they have like the idealistic marriage, and I don't know, it's just very aspirational, and everyone has a good time even when they're not, and it's very wholesome. It's surprisingly wholesome in football and Texas Forever.
Seems so fitting, you being such a huge sporto.
I know.
I shouldn't be surprised.
Look, toss me the pigskin, and I'm gonna throw it back.
And then what?
Then you throw it back to me.
Oh, we're just playing catch. Okay.
We're just playing. Yeah.
I want to talk about one specific thing about Rebel Moon Part 1.
Oh, okay.
It stars, or one of the stars is Son of Anarchy, aka Mr. Pacific Rim.
Yes.
That guy, Charlie Hunman. Now, this guy is doing one of the worst Irish accents I have ever heard in my life.
Oh, no.
To the point where you're just like, this is space. Just don't do the accent.
Yeah, is it required?
No. We're never like, oh, and we're going to follow him back home where everyone talks like this. Like, no, it's not touching at all. How did nobody be like, hey, you know what? Actually, we're just going to kill that accent. You're not very good at it. You can just talk normal. It's space. Who cares?
Okay, so I think I know what this is. I saw an interview with him recently, and they asked him what his favorite movie was, and he said Leprechaun in Space. And
is that
I think
the fifth one?
Yeah, it's just maybe he's doing an homage to that. Could that be it?
It's real bad, whatever it is. It like took me out of the movie. It's that much where I'm just like, what are you doing? Why even if the character is written that way, surely you could have just been like, you know what? We're just going to lose the accent. It's not important.
Dude, what's Rebel Moon? Why do I not? I feel like I heard someone talking about this recently, but I don't know anything about it.
It's Zack Snyder's latest thing. So they came out with 2 movies on Netflix where he is one of the writers. I think there's 2 others, but yeah, it's his latest like writer/directorial thing.
Space epic.
And so they first released it back in August of just like regular PG-13 versions. But even when that came out, he was like, oh, and by the way, we will be putting out like an unrated director's cut version. Because of course.
Now, sure. Did this go to theaters?
No, just Netflix.
So, okay. So why are there 2 versions? I don't understand.
Because
why did they need to make a PG-13 movie? Because they didn't go to theaters.
I think to make it more mainstream, so you have a wider audience, like it can be for teens and anyone.
I guess not everyone's drinking Magic Mind and has the attention capacity to watch that long of a movie.
Not like me, baby. I was dialed in.
Okay, cool. I am intrigued.
Yeah.
Is only the first part of his Snyder cut released?
Nope, it's all out.
Okay. Yeah.
The second one is somehow shorter.
Okay, that's good.
That is good.
Hey, Rebel Moon, 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep. Well, which one are you checking? Because I think they actually do legitimately have different ratings.
Oh, well, the original version. Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, the Snyder Cut has a good audience score, but even the director's cut still has a 53 tomato meter score.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better.
It is better.
So clearly, that's the way to go.
And the Part 2 director's cut has a 16%. So I don't know if I'll be watching that.
I just Googled Rebel Moon Snyder Cut review, and the top thing is a blog post titled, I spent 10 hours watching Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, and all I got was this lousy blog post. That's pretty good.
Dang, 10 hours. So they watched the originals, then when the director's cut came out, they rewatched them. Sheesh. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend doing that.
That's too much. That's stupid. Yeah, why would you do that?
Just wait until the Snyder cuts come out.
Yeah. All right, well, I might have some time this weekend. Might be checking it out. That's going on the list.
You get some classic Zack Snyder slow-mo action scenes, which are fun.
Do I get letterboxing, but on the sides?
No.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
You get a copious amount of gore and blood.
Do I get no color?
No, there's a lot of color, in fact. It's very colorized.
What the?
I know.
Fine.
Not as good as
so
the
it's just
Justice
longer.
League.
Is that the only difference?
Justice League is better.
I liked the Justice Snyder cut.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I started watching the show The Penguin, and I really love it so far.
Yeah, I keep hearing amazing things about that. It's still airing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It either maybe by the time this comes out, it might be done, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in at time of record, but it's awesome. And for whoever wants to know, you absolutely do not need to know anything about Batman or the universe or anything like that.
Cool.
It's just
Do I need to know anything about like non-flighty birds?
No. In fact, they explain that too.
Oh, great. Perfect. All right.
They go and visit a zoo. They get an explanation.
Full
These ones
reading
fly.
of the plaque.
This one doesn't fly.
Okay.
See
Good.
the guy wearing a tuxedo? That's a penguin.
Okay, good. All right. That's how he got to start, right?
Yeah.
I hope
They
that's
do
true.
a little tiny spoiler in that you see the foot that like he has kind of a crutch for, and it is gnarly.
Ooh, cool.
He like takes off his sock and you get to see it. You're like, gross.
That's exciting. Is
Yeah.
that how he got his name?
Yeah, because he
Based
walks.
on
He like
his weird
hobbles.
feet? Oh, because he waddles. Yeah, that's right. That's fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really good.
All right. That's too many things.
It is a lot. We crank through them.
Yeah. Man, if you listen to this show, you sure get a lot of recommendations. Good luck.
Feeling very meh about Rebel Moon Part 1, a 3.5 hour movie. But then you get a legitimate recommendation of The Penguin.
Yeah, and Friday Night Lights. So
Yeah, sure.
there you go. Cool. All right. Well, I think we've teased it long enough. CJ, tell us about your trip. So you went to Japan and
Korea.
South Korea.
The good one.
Okay. Just checking.
Very important distinction.
All right. So let's start with Japan then. What was your favorite place you went to in Japan?
Probably some of the street markets.
Okay.
They're kind of, it's just like food. It's like one super long pathway that just has food stalls along the way. But
Ooh.
like when you first enter it, it looks like it goes for a full mile. Like the end of it is tiny. And it's just
Wow.
every 5 feet is a different like restaurant or food stall or store or something, all packed into one place.
Cool.
And they're usually covered, so even if it's crappy weather, you have like a ceiling.
Did you find any cool souvenirs to bring back?
I
For maybe,
did
say,
buy
like your favorite co-host of a podcast.
Yeah, yeah, I got you something.
No, I'm just kidding. What'd you find?
I bought myself a sweater. Speaking of the penguin, it's got a penguin on it. He's wearing
Nice.
headphones, drinking a cup of coffee.
Ooh.
And that brand is called City Boy Penguin, which I thought was very fitting. I was like, oh, it's a sweatshirt to me. It's me.
Nice.
I bought a chore jacket.
A chore jacket?
Yeah. Do you know those? It's kind of
No.
like
A jacket you do when you like do the dishes, or
kind of. I think it was made for that because it's got like a lot of big pockets. Chore coat. Maybe it's not even a jacket. Chore coat. Give it a Google.
this is a thing?
This is a thing.
Hold on,
I'm not
yeah.
making it up. It's like a style of kind of denim type jacket, maybe.
Oh.
Button up.
Huh.
Chore coat.
Cool.
And then I bought new shoes
Oh wow.
that are very comfortable. They've got some padding. Very good walking around shoes.
No pockets in those. Are
No
they chore
pockets in the
or are they
shoes.
Normal shoes. Could you wear them while you're doing chores?
You absolutely could. They're very cushy.
Okay. That's good. Nice. All right. So you mentioned food. What was some of the best food you had in Japan?
I mean, I definitely set a new personal record for, in a 2-week span, the most ramen I've ever eaten and the most dumplings I've ever eaten.
Ooh, okay.
Which I think ramen probably was my favorite, and I think it's what everybody says, but that's because it's true. It is really, really good. Even we found some random like kind of like food market, and it was a very good sign that there weren't a lot of white people there. So we're like, all right, this place must be good.
Yeah.
And even that, it was like probably one of the cheaper meals we had and some of the best ramen I've ever had. And it's just some random like food stall
Nice.
thing. Yeah.
Did you? Now, I don't think you're a fan of this, but did you get any sushi?
We did not. I'm not a fan.
Emily either?
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well,
And since we're on the topic of food, I want to give a major shout out to Japan 7-Elevens.
it's a little slice of comfort there.
Ken, here's the thing. Specifically in Japan, it is an entirely separate company. So these 7-Elevens are not American 7-Elevens.
Okay.
They are far superior. I'm not joking
Okay.
when I want to give them a shout out. They are legitimately
ways?
really good.
Do they still have the slushy machines?
They did not.
What did they have that made them better?
Actual fresh food. So you could get pre-made sandwiches that are actually like made daily.
Wow. Okay.
So super cheap like snacks and food that are actually of high quality. It's not like
Cool.
a hot dog that's just been rolling there for a month.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, there is. It's gross.
I've had sushi at a 7-Eleven before. I bet the sushi over there is pretty good.
It was. Emily would get the nigiri from 7-Elevens.
Oh, so she did have sushi.
If you want to call 7-Eleven nigiri sushi, sure.
I mean, technically it is. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah. I think I had probably 8 sandwiches from 7-Eleven.
Nice.
It's really good.
All right. Now, everyone's wondering, CJ, what's the best slice over there?
The best slice of what?
Pizza.
Did not have any pizza.
No?
Specifically avoided it. Although we did randomly catch places having deep dish, which I was just like, what?
Really?
Yeah.
Deep dish. Wow.
It wasn't very common, but we walked by a couple. We were like, huh.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Huh.
No pizza, no French fries,
No, no McDonald's?
no McDonald's.
No McDonald's? Okay.
The only fast food, if you want to call it that, was 7-Eleven, which was really good.
Okay. Now, where did you guys stay? Did you stay at a couple different locations, or did you have like one central hub?
No, so yeah, first few days were in Tokyo, where pretty much every day we were getting on a train to go to a new neighborhood to explore.
Cool.
Which, by the way, Tokyo, I knew it was big, but it is massive. It is so big.
Dang.
We would get on trains for a half hour just to like go to a different neighborhood. And these trains are like, this is not the L. These are trains that are going like 60 miles an hour. Very smooth ride, big, spacious, comfy trains.
Wow.
So even, you're sitting on that for a half hour and you're still in Tokyo.
Wow.
So we did that for a few days, explored Tokyo. Then we took the bullet train, which was very cool, to Kyoto. Bullet train, very cool experience. You go basically like around some mountains kind of on the coast. Again, the video I took is going to look like it's a time-lapse video, but it is just real life, like you are zooming by.
Cool.
So first day getting to Kyoto, we basically dropped our stuff off at the hotel and then hopped on another train to go to Osaka to go see a show. And I got to see Jeff Rosenstock in Osaka,
that's right.
Which was so fucking cool at this like
Did you
tiny
know-
club.
Did you plan that?
No, we had booked everything, and then he announced like a little Japan tour. And it was his first time being there.
Cool.
It was like their first Japan tour too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you talk to him?
No, I did not.
Oh.
Emily stood next to him for a bit, but that was about it.
Ooh.
I don't think she realized until I pointed it out later.
that was him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw her Instagram story of that, and she's like, I went to a punk show and I wasn't alone, and she just shows another girl there.
Stone faced and
not moving.
Yep. Yeah, there were some of those.
Yeah.
Then we also went to, while we were staying in Kyoto, we took a trip to Nara. Nara is known for this giant deer park. It's just this like open park that deer will roam around and like are totally cool with humans. So they will fully come up to you. I have like 1 million pictures of Emily feeding deer.
Cool.
You can buy these little like rice cracker things, and the deer have learned that to get fed, they will bow to you, and then you feed them, and then they will like
Very
bow
polite.
again. And it was cool.
Cool. Wow.
So that's where we stayed in Japan. And then we took, it's like a 2-hour, 20-minute flight to Seoul in South Korea, and stayed there
bad.
for a few more days before heading home.
So just Seoul in South Korea?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, then I'm going to ask some familiar questions, but what's the favorite thing that you saw in Seoul?
I mean, we went to one of the palaces. That was pretty cool. Just the architecture. Oh, that was something cool in Japan. We did I'm going to blank on all of the names of the things, but they're known as like the gates, these like orange wooden, they call them gates, but there's like hundreds of them that follow this path. So you kind of like walk up a mountain while you're going underneath all these gates.
Cool.
That was really cool in Tokyo. Yeah, and Seoul, seeing these massive like wooden palace type things was pretty awesome. also just being surrounded by mountains is always cool. Kyoto also is just like in the middle of a bunch of mountains. So you would just look down the street and you could see them in the background of everything.
Cool. Wow.
We don't
Nice.
get that here.
Nope, sure don't.
Yeah.
Nothing quite like that at all.
Yeah, Tokyo is also way more hilly than I thought because I'm used to cities just being flat, but it actually has like little hills and stuff.
Huh. All right. And then another familiar question. What was the best slice in Seoul?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope.
What was the best food you had in Seoul?
Everything was really like, I think on the entire trip, we only had like 2 mediocre meals. All of the food we had was pretty awesome. Seoul, the first night we went to, we like got to the hotel and immediately went to dinner. And it was this, they give you this tray of food where one of the things on the tray is this like steel pot, this kind of like hot pot thing with a wooden cover over it. And then next to it is this empty stone bowl. And then they give you little bits on these plates of like a little thing of kimchi, a little thing of this like fruit, side salad. But the thing in the pot, what we ordered was rice, tofu, shishito peppers, pork, and then some sort of like sauce over it all. And so what you do is you take the lid off and you actually take all of the stuff out of the hot pot thing and put it into the bowl. And that's what you're going to eat out of. But because the steel pot is so hot, a bunch of the rice sticks to it. So then they give you this thing that they refer to as the magic lantern, which is just this little pot of this like barley broth in it. And you take that and you pour it into the hot pot that has the rice stuck to it. And then you cover that. And so while you're eating the meal, that is kind of like marinating with the rice or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so when you're done with the main meal, then you take the lid back off, and then the rice is now been released from the pot, and then so you eat the leftover rice that has then also soaked up this kind of like barley broth deliciousness.
Okay. So how did you know? In what were you alone there? How did you know to do all of that?
It had instructions.
In English?
I can't. We probably use Google Translate. I can't remember.
I see. Okay.
I will say this. Korea, almost everybody speaks English, at least some.
Oh, okay.
So Korea was super easy to get by. Japan was more of a mixed bag.
Okay. That's cool that they had instructions, though.
Yeah.
That's fun. Nice.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that was very helpful. We may have just used our phones to Google Translate it on the fly, which was super helpful anywhere. Japan, the little that I learned from Duolingo leading up to the trip, some of it came in handy. I impressed Emily once where I ordered us waters without her knowing. I like got the server's attention because I know how to say that, and then got us waters because we were having beers.
What's 2 waters, please?
Well, water is mizu and please is kudasai, and then like to get their attention is suimasen.
Ah.
Technically,
Fancy.
it's sumimasen, but no one there says the full formal way. They shorten it to suimasen. But that actually worked. I was sort of proud of myself that I got their attention by saying that. And I also greeted one of the bars we went to. We were the only ones there. And so when we came in, I said good evening to the bartender in Japanese, and he said it back. And then I had that like, oh man, I wonder if they actually say that here, if I'm clearly like, I'm obviously a tourist, but then a bunch of Japanese people came in later, and I heard one of the guys say it to the bartender. I was like, okay, cool. I nailed it. Nice. They do actually say that.
Like worrying that it's like top of the morning to you.
Yeah, some super formal
weird
thing that nobody actually talks that way.
Cool. Well, that's good. So, yeah, how was it like the rest of the time, like getting in your hotel? Like, did they speak English there? Like,
hotels are generally pretty good about that. I think that maybe is a requirement for like working there, I imagine. Hotels were fine, no problem. One time we were having dinner and we were sort of sitting at the counter. And the guy, our like server, was super young. And so usually it's the younger people where you're like, oh, you probably know some English. Just because we have such like entertainment is such our biggest export. Everybody watches our movies and stuff. But he actually didn't really speak any English. So then it literally was like I just pulled out Google Translate, would type in something and show him my phone, and then he would do the same and like show it back to me. I was like, oh yeah, this works. We could just do this.
Right. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he knew enough to take our order, but then since he was young and he was being super friendly, we were like, oh, maybe we should ask him for like a recommendation of something to do. But then realized he didn't speak almost any English. So then it was like, all right, I'll just take out my phone here.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. Anything else noteworthy that you wanna tell people about?
I mean, the toilets are fantastic. I don't know what we're doing.
That is not where I thought that was gonna go.
I mean, they're the superior toilet bidet. I mean, we got to get on that.
Okay. Nice.
The toilet in our hotel room in Tokyo, you could press a button. It has this like panel on the wall, and you could press a button and it would open both seats for you. Very convenient for being a guy and you have to pee in the middle of the night. Just hit a button. It also has music, so if you want some like privacy while you're...
That's the one thing I just like, soothing, right? Like that's what I need to like get in the right headspace sometimes, you know?
And not only just music, like what I didn't make it through all of the tracks. Like it had so many things to choose from that I was still like going through them before I stopped. It had nature sounds.
Nice.
You could change the temperature of the seat.
That's nice.
Yeah. Americans has got to get on it.
Seriously, on our honeymoon, the hotel we stayed at had a bidet and like a heated seat and all of that. And I was like, oh, we were looking up how much it would be to retrofit that on one of our toilets at home, but it never came. But
you can get the like,
very nice.
I think Tushy is the company.
Yeah.
You can get just the bidet part, the like adapters.
Yeah, it's like it basically you replace the toilet seat with that, and you can get there's like a whole range of how fancy you can go with it. But yeah, I mean you could totally do it. We just haven't yet. But yeah, it's the way we should be doing it here.
Yes,
it's weird that we honestly it is very weird when you think about it that we don't.
Yeah,
that.
It is. Using them too, you flush those things, it's like a jet engine has just started up. Like those things are powerful. You're not getting clogs with those toilets.
No. Oh, hold on. Before we move off of bidets, the one we used on our honeymoon also had like a heating thing that like fanned you with warm air after it sprayed
the dryer.
You. Yeah, the dryer. Yep. What is that? That's
yeah.
crazy.
The one in Seoul, instead of being a panel, it was a remote, so you could like hold the controls. But it was like you can change the temperature of the water, you can change the temperature of the seat, the temperature of the dryer.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, well, I think that might be it for this episode.
Highly recommend going. Everyone should go to Japan if you can. It's very expensive to get there, but once you're there, everything is very affordable.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I really want to go sometime, especially Japan. That's been on my bucket list for a while now. I'm sure we'll make it out at some point, but probably not for a little bit. Kids got to grow up a little bit. I announced in the last episode that we're having a child. I don't think we had talked about that before, but
not on the show now.
Are having a baby.
That's
so
right.
Not much traveling in the immediate future for us, but we'll get out there at some point.
Whereas I will be heading back to Europe next month.
Nice. Where are you going?
Spain.
Ooh, España.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Another trip?
Yep. It's for a wedding. Friends getting married.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. CJ, where can people find us?
You can follow us on all the things at Overtalking Pod. Call or text at USACat1591 or email us at overtalkabout@gmail.com. Go to our website, overtalkabout.party.
Use code OvertalkingPod20 at checkout with Magic Mind. Best way to support the show. Best way to support us. Best way to get CJ out to España. And oh no, they're here.
I haven't missed these guys.
No, I know. He is back. It's the Overtalking Overlords. They've been looking for you, CJ. They don't have their passports though, so they couldn't quite make it out there. But they show up at the end of every episode to remind you. If you like the show, please go on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and rate and review where applicable. Reviews will help people find this podcast. Also, we spend no money on advertising. So if you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. We would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And they're gone. And as we always say at the end of every single episode,
See you next week. Love you. Bye.
bye.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week it was just the boys. Music by Justin Peters, logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.